A very warm and pleasant good evening to each one of you. This is the consecutively we have successfully completed 1 dozen weekly grooming sessions, and this is the 15th weekly grooming session where our host and co-host will be officially welcoming you all. But prior to that, I, on behalf of my core team, would like to welcome each one of you. Now, I will request to start your introduction. So, first and foremost thing, we'll be requesting Mr. Aditya Patil, kindly introduce yourself.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Aditya Patil. I'm a level 7 local guide from Thane, Maharashtra.
Thank you, Aditya ji. Thanks for coming. Now, I request Ms. Aarti Shinde, madam. Since you are coming the very first time, so you are very hot and warm welcome, ma'am. Kindly introduce yourself, Aarti Shinde, madam.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you for welcoming me. And I'm Aarti Shinde, level 7 local guide from Hyderabad.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, ma'am. Now, I would like to introduce Engineer Naresh Prajapati ji. Ram Ram Bhai ji. Kindly introduce
Ram
yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Naresh Prajapati. I am from Rajasthan. I am also influenced from Rajasthan, and thank you all for inviting me, and thank you Vikram, thank you Anil ji, and thank you all. And I like to announcement ki today is a happy birthday Vikram Singh Valera. Happy birthday to you from all our LG team India. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hooray.
Thank you very much. Vikram is there.
Yes,
He
he is
will-
there. Very much
Yes,
there.
So birthday boy, come on.
Wow, birthday boy.
Come on the
Everyone.
screen.
Yes,
Come
birthday
on the
boy.
screen.
Naresh will
Please.
give the birthday bump on behalf of all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday.
Thank you everyone. Thank you so
So भाई जी राम
much.
राम, थारा बर्थडे है आज, तो फिर तो पार्टी शार्टी होएगी.
हाँ हाँ होएगी ना, आ जाओ
इसीलिए तो विक्रम भाई को
आप
याद
पे
किया।
मनाइए.
लॉकडाउन में पार्टी मनाएंगे आज.
विक्रम भाई एक काम करो, सबको गूगल पे पेटीएम कर लो, हो जाएगी पार्टी।
नहीं, ये महंगा पड़ जाएगा.
Okay,
पार्टी
let's
में
move
क्या
on.
पूरा लगे। चलो next.
Have you with us? It's a congratulations for this coincidence. Your birthday is also it's for this remarkable day. Now I would like to introduce Mr. Jayachandra Jayadharan P. Mr. Jayadharan P. Kindly introduce yourself.
That's Jason only. That's Jason only.
Okay. Nikhil Bhatti. Mr. Nikhil Bhatti. Mr. Nikhil Bhatti, kindly introduce yourself. Mr. Mahesh, am I audible to you? Can you hear? Mr. Mahesh, can you introduce yourself?
Manish S. Manish S.
Okay.
Manish S.
Now
Please
may I
introduce.
request,
I can hear you.
Yeah, please.
yes, kindly introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm
Mr.
from Kerala. I'm a level 7 local guide.
Great. Nice to have you with us,
Welcome.
Ms. Mini. All right. So we have got now. May I introduce our Bijon? Can you introduce yourself?
Good evening, everybody. Myself, Bijon from Kokrajhar, Assam, India, a level 8 local guide. Thank you. All the
Thank
best.
you very much, Bijon.
All the best, Tushar. Thank you.
May I request Mr. Mukesh Dhamu? Mukesh Dhamu, can you introduce yourself, Mr. Mukesh Dhamu? Mr. Mukesh Dhamu, can you introduce yourself? Okay. Mr. Pramod, can you introduce yourself, Mr. Pramod?
Yeah, good evening all. I'm Pramod MG from Kerala, local guide level 8. Good evening all.
Right. Thank you,
Good
Pramod.
evening, sir. Good evening.
Now may I request Mr. Tushar, can you introduce yourself? Mr. Tushar. Unfortunately, he's our special person.
Unfortunate.
Right.
Hello, Anil
Yes,
ji, you're talking about me or if? There is someone
Yes,
else.
yes, Tushar
No,
Suradkar.
it's you
Oh,
only.
it's okay.
Tushar.
Did you say unfortunately or what? I
No,
heard
no, I said
unfortunately.
fortunately, fortunately, God is a special personality today. That's what I mean to
Oh,
say.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Tushar Suradkar. I am a level 8 guide. I'm living in Delhi currently, but I belong to Pune. Welcome all. I'm your co-host today, so you can ask me any questions and I'll be glad to help. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to have you with as a
Thank you,
co-host, sir. Most and warm welcome. Now I'll request Jason, sir. Though officially we'll be having different personality today, Jason, sir role will be different today. However, as an official introduction part, kindly grace us with your introduction.
Hello. Hello,
Hello, good
I'm
evening, sir.
Jason from Chennai, India. I'm a level 7 local guide. So I'll be presenting today's session. Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining the session. Thank you.
Most of people know our quiz master. He's our quiz master, but today he'll be in different role. So, Mr. Vikram Bishnoi, kindly introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I am Vikram Bisnoy, level 6 local guide from Jodhpur, Rajasthan. And all the best Shreya and Tushar sir for your meetup. Thank you.
So we have got our madam gift from as a madam gift. You know, the madam guest as a madam. Let's welcome Devi from Indonesia. Devi, welcome. Kindly introduce yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
What
What are you eating now?
I'm going to eat my dinner. Okay. Hello, my name is Indonesia. Bye.
Thank you. Nice for you, Devi. Whenever you come, you vibrate the show. That's why we love and your introduction style. Welcome. Thank you very much for having with us. Now would like to introduce Ajit Thiteji. Kindly introduce yourself, Mr. Ajit Thite.
Hi everyone, this is Ajit Thite. I'm level 7 local guide from Pune, India, and I wish all the best to Shreya and Tushar for today's their first and maiden meeting. I'm wishing all the best and I'm feeling very excited about today's session also. Thank you very much. Thank you, Janiji.
Thank you,
Thank
Ajit.
you. Thank you very much. It's our privilege to have a madam meeting as a host by a madam. Wow, Devi. Great, great. Thank you. Now I would like to. Sophie is there. Sophie, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, sir. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to once again join this session, and congratulations to Shreya and Tushar, sir. And yes, very excited for the photography session, and so all the best to Jason, sir. And yes, I'm from Delhi, local guide level 7. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sophie. Nice to have you here among
Thank
us.
you.
We have
Alright.
Mukesh Damuji.
Thank you again.
Mukesh Damuji, please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I am Mukesh Damu from Hanumangarh, Rajasthan. I am local guide 6. अभी 7 पहुंच चुका हूँ मैं और जारी है मेरा काम.
स्वागत है, पधारो हमारे देश. राम राम. देखो कितने लोग आ गए तुमको. Right.
राम राम. राम राम.
So now इंतजार की घड़ियां खत्म हुई. के साथ let's welcome Shreya madam. Kindly introduce yourself. Shreya,
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
You look gorgeous today.
Bolo. Oh, thank you, sir. I'm very anxious for hosting the whole meetup right now. Welcome, Jitendra Kumar, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Kindly introduce yourself. Tell us about your local guide and where you belong to.
जितेंद्र जी अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस कीजिए, परिचय कराइए लोग।
अनिल जी, श्रिया जी, तुषार जी, आप सभी को
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार जितेंद्र,
हाँ,
देख के बहुत अच्छा लगा आपको आज शाम।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू। आई एम जितेंद्र कुमार, लोकल गाइड दिल्ली, लेवल 9। आप सबको यहाँ देख के बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है।
बहुत बहुत
आगे बढ़ाइए।
बहुत धन्यवाद सर।
आज के बारे में थोड़ा सा बता दूं कि आज का दिन विशेष इसलिए है कि आज के दिन हम लोगों ने सक्सेसफुली 1 दर्जन मीटिंग कंप्लीट करके वीकली ग्रूमिंग सेशन का आज 13वीं पायदान पे कदम रखा, वो भी लेडीज फर्स्ट के साथ।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू अनिल जी।
स्त्री को आगे रखा जाता है, तो हम लोगों ने भी सोचा कि श्रेया जो है वो सबको श्रेय ले जाएगी, सबको अच्छा श्रेय देगी, इसलिए हमने श्रेया को।
Hello everyone. I guess, yeah, I know each and every person from here, so I don't need a different introduction, but still, my name is Shriya Barai. I am local guide level 8 from Mumbai, India. Nice to have you today. I will be the host for this meetup, and I hope you all enjoy the photography session. And Devi Ma, give me what you're having.
We all are eager to have it.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Shreya, you are gracious today because we have got one more lady to grace you, and let me ask to come with their blessings. Rosie, madam, kindly come and bless us. Kindly introduce yourself. Rosie Kohli.
Ahmed Kasim,
Yes, sir.
please introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Ahmed Kasim. Currently, I'm living in Mumbai, but I'm from Africa, East Africa.
Welcome, Ahmed. Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Rosie ma'am has joined again. Rosie ma'am has joined again.
Yeah, there was some problem. Hi
No
everyone.
problem.
I'm
Hi.
Rosie Kohli, local guide level 7 from Mumbai. And all the best for Shreya and Tushar, and TG sir for doing wonderful job. Anil ji, all the best. All the best for everyone who are behind the scene.
Thank
And
you,
thank
Rosie
you.
ma'am.
Thank you very much,
Thank you so
madam.
much.
That's
Your
what
blessings
needed.
are always good to us. Thank you.
Shreya, over to you. All yours.
Okay, I guess we still have 5 minutes, sir. चलिए फिर हम चालू करते हैं अपने सेशन को. Let's begin.
No, Shreya, I think Falguni is there.
Yes.
Yeah, Falguni, just I can see her now.
Come on.
Falguni, please introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself. Let everyone know you are here.
Hi everyone, this is Falguni, level 8 local guide from Mumbai. Sorry, I'm having a bad network, so I'm going on and off again and again, but I'll try to be there as far as I can. I hope you guys can hear me.
Sure. Yes, we can clearly
Yeah,
hear you. Let's start with the agenda so that everyone would have an idea what we are
Yes.
going to do
Yes,
today.
please go ahead. Yeah, hand it over to you. Shreya, please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
All the best.
Sir. Oh, thank you. I saw Doc has joined. Hello, Doc. We starting our session. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so Jason sir, the next slide. Good evening, everyone. So this is the weekly grooming session. 13th week, we completed 12 gorgeous meetups, and this is the 13th one. And I hope you learned something new today. It's the most favorite topic of our local guides. That's the photography. And who doesn't love photography? Let that be a mobile camera or DSLR or anything. We just love capturing moments. And I'm not a good pro photographer. I don't even have a DSLR, but my mobile is enough to capture those delicious food dishes or the beautiful sunset or let that be the photos of map to upload on maps. So today what we are going to do is 3 sessions we have. So it's the mobile photography tips where we'll do a SWOT analysis, tips and tricks, and the sample photos. The second one is the DSLR one where you know your mode dial. So there we will see the exposure triangle, the dial details of each and every mode on the camera, and the sample photos clicked by our perfect speaker for today's session, that is the Jason sir. So you'll enjoy the photos. And the next last session we have is the introduction to 360-degree camera. So some may be new to this, some may be not, but I am also new to this topic. So it's about a 360-degree camera, how it works, and the sample photos, how photos and videos could be taken by a 360-degree camera. And the last and the most entertaining part of our meetups, that's the quiz. Everyone loves the quiz. And as the session today is on photography, we'll have the quiz on photography. So the questions, make sure you hear the session properly because all the words would be from our session. So it would be quite easy to guess and win an exciting prize. So I guess I should leave it over to Jason sir and go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Shreya. So before we start with the session, may I request TG sir to make an announcement, please. TG sir, about IBM 4, maybe you can make a quick announcement.
Good evening, all. Yes, Jason, thank you, Shreya and Anilji, all who have spoken over here, and especially our audience who are, our assets. You all made this possible. So thank you and congratulations and welcome. So that is to you all. And just wanted to inform you all what is exactly Anil Singh was telling. We completed 12. Now today we are on the 14th. This is regarding our actual Team India mission called CL21 World. What happened is when so many LGs, around 196 LGs were there when we initiated Connect Live 2020 in January, February this year. So it was completed, and then because of the request, we continued, or we created another WhatsApp group with the name CL21 World. And CL21 World is a platform to share knowledge for the global LGs, keeping in mind our CL21, that is Connect Live 2021. Now, this mission initiated by Team India is guided by a team of LGs, senior LGs, as well as mixed LGs who are the core members and also the admins. So let me first introduce them because they are the actual people running this. People address me as TG and tell, sir, you are doing a great job. My great job is unimportant because God's grace, this team, starting from our Jason, who is also the chief speaker for today's session, and Anil Singh, one who has been very instrumental in maintaining the cordial approach and conducive environment for our group, along with Ajit Titte, who instrumentally again took part with deep involvement. I thank you all especially, and the newly joined Tushar Parkar, who also has in the layer of the admin layer, along with Gurupriya, who is presently not comfortable to take part because of her mother. Here we are totally supported by, in other words, if we are all surviving today, it is because of the next layer of our team members who had been working with us day and night to make this series possible. That is none other than, Bijon Adams, Sophie, Pramod, Falguni, Karan, Priya, and Vikram. I am sure most of these team members are well known to you. So, I did not get the word, so I'm continuing. Under this mission, we started in April 2020, will end in March 2021. So during this period, we are planning, or we have planned 12 IVMs, inspirational virtual meetup, and more than 50 weekly meetups. So these are all Google approved meetups, presented by or addressed by different LGs with different qualities. For example, IVMs, that is inspirational virtual meetup. The short form is IVM, which is in which series 4 is going to happen on 26th of this month. Now, that inspirational virtual meetup is addressed by Connect Live attendees. So same way, here weekly grooming sessions, or WGS, which is 14th today, is addressed by, or trainers or groomers are taking part who are trained or more senior and professionals. So I would suggest my team members to understand that, here is the knowledge sharing platform. I request all to be the part of this. You have been making it, continuously making this successful. I would request your continued patronage as well as support to make the events more live and successful. And IVM, as I told you, on 26th July, where our host is Devi Dimitra and co-host is Anil Singh, who is also our admin, lead admin members. Now, the topic, as you know, will be inspirational talk by Aslam Muhammad, who is from Hyderabad. So, hope you all will be present along with your friends. So, I request you all. Next, incidentally, we have an exclusive.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, incidentally, by this thing, my team members wanted me to announce one second that we also have an exclusive photography platform, that is a WhatsApp group presently, which is named as LG's Photo World, where we try to share and learn photography. Instead of somebody teaching, we share by we showing our talents, capabilities, or our photographs we show in the WhatsApp group and we share with others. The next, this is exclusively for only PE, that is photography enthusiasts who are interested. You can register your name in the chat session, and there are few formalities that we want to review some of your shots, and then we will take it forward. However, that is a separate topic. I was asked to present it, so I presented it. Now, CL21 WhatsApp group is where I would seriously request all the members to join, because we are going to start the interactive session shortly. That is CL21 WhatsApp group, by which this meetup is happening, that is WGS 14, where our Shreya is the host, and our Tusharji, who is also admin lead, he is also the co-host. I hope I have covered all the points. If not, Anilji,
Yes,
kindly assist me to bring out. I just extempo spoke with some comment. So,
No. It's are we saying about the next meeting, the WGS 14?
yes, WGS 14. I'm sorry, I got mixed up. Okay.
We are
Pardon?
going to have it.
Yes,
That we are going to have WGS 14 also.
Yeah.
So, in fact, today is WGS 13. However, we
I'm
are
sorry.
planning 14 also. This has already been declared that by the end we will declare the name of the host and co-host. Over.
Yes.
Thank you very much for such a nice introduction.
I would like to invite my co-host, that is Tushar sir. With him and I and the whole team member, we were able to just start and get this platform of hosting the weekly grooming session, as this is my first meetup. I am really very anxious doing it, but with the help of everyone, I just managed my anxiety and I'm here in front of you giving a presentation. So thank you, Tushar sir, for being with me, and I'm sorry everyone for annoying at times to learn new things. So I guess we should start our session with the main session of the part. What say, Jason sir?
Again, welcome everyone. So today's session is going to be all about photography. To start with, photography word, if you look at it, it has come from Greek. There are two words, photo and graphy. And the photo word is nothing but light, and graphy is about the drawing or art. So photography, if you look at it, it's a perfect combination of science and arts. So science and arts together only can make a photography. So here we are going to see how the light can be controlled, and from the art perspective, it is very individual. I mean, it will vary from individual to individual. So from an art perspective, we will cover certain areas where it will give you some guidelines or some good practices that you can do when it comes to the graphy part of things. And the photo part, we will be covering like in the DSLR, how you can control the light, what you need to do if you want to take a photo in a dark or in a very good light condition. All these things we'll be covering. So we'll first start off with the mobile photography tips. So, mobile photography tips. So before we actually enter into this, I will just wanted to introduce one method, which is called the SWOT analysis. So this is a tool which is generally used in management. Some people might be aware of it. It's a very useful tool if you can do analysis about yourself or about a company or a business venture you want to go with. So all certain different things you will be able to do some analysis using this tool. So what we in this tool, what happens is that you try to list down the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. So the strengths are one which we want to concentrate and make it. We should try to use those strengths. Weakness is what we want to overcome, and opportunities are areas where we can do better, or we need to make sure that we are able to do something about it. So in other words, if an opponent's weakness is there and you know about it, you can try to take advantage of that. So that is where the opportunity comes. The threats are something which probably it will still be there. You may have to live with it, but you can try and see how we can minimize these threats. So why do we have to talk about SWOT here in photography class? So what we are trying to do is that we are going to do a SWOT analysis for a mobile camera and try to understand what all things or steps we can take out from this SWOT analysis. So if you look at it, there are 4 quadrants. S is the strength, W is the weakness, O is the opportunities, and T is the threats. So, and we would like to also keep this as a more interactive session. So I would request people on the call to kind of guess or tell us some strengths that you might view of a mobile camera. Maybe you can talk, or you can put it in the chat. Shreya or someone will be able to help read it out.
Yes, everyone who feels like unmuting their mic, they can surely unmute and give us some points, like what is the strength of a mobile camera, what would be the weakness in a mobile camera, opportunities which we find. So that's how you answer in the chat section, or you can just unmute and tell us.
Hi, Isha here. I would like to tell the strength, which is the biggest strength I find about mobile photography, is that
it's very handy. Like we always have our mobile phone with us, right? And in case if we spot something which is, photographic, we can immediately capture it. I
Yes,
think that
very
is one of
true.
the strengths.
Yes, very true.
And weakness is, I don't know, if you are clumsy like me, you may not take the picture correctly. Sometimes the mobile may slip away.
Yeah, good one.
And I think the zoom capacity and other things also, right? I think Jason sir will be able to tell more. I'm not that
Sure.
much into photography, but I think that is one of the weaknesses, I think, of mobile. You cannot capture things that are too far or something.
Yes. Yeah. Very, very rightly put.
Very good.
Thank you, Aman. Anybody else?
We have a lot of answers here in the chat section.
Yeah, in fact, SWOT, a word I used to heard only in management and all, Jason sir.
Okay,
SWOT in photography is really surprising for me.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so Shreya,
Falguni
you
says-
want to read out one or two of them?
Yes. Falguni says it's handy and easy to carry. Perfect
Yes,
one. Sachin
yes.
Gupta says that it's no need to carry an extra device. Totally agree with it.
Yes.
And
very
it is
much.
handy to use. Yeah, I guess we have a lot of common answers here. Yay.
Good. So good to know many answers are coming in. People are very they are trying to participate. That's really good. So I mean, what I have also done is I have just tried to list it down. I mean, my view is very much similar to whatever has come. So first we'll see the strengths of a mobile camera. So for example, it's, as you said, it's very easy to carry. We just carry it everywhere. Cheaper compared to a DSLR. Everyone kind of wants it. Every phone has a camera, so everyone has more than one phones are nowadays. So you get to have so many cameras around, and it's internet ready. You are either Wi-Fi or data or whatever. It's always internet ready, easy to share things on the go. Multi-function. You can take still photos. Be it a 360 photo or a normal photo, you can even do that. You can take videos, live stream. So these are some of the strengths. There might be even more, but these are some of the strengths as rightly pointed out by many. So let's just look at how do we maximize these strengths? How do we really use these strengths? And what all tips we can derive out of this? So first and foremost, I mean, as we are seeing, it's very easy to carry, take photos anywhere, anytime. So one thing we have to be sure is safety. So the first point is about safety. And being a LG, we used to take a lot of photos on the road, right? So we have to be very careful when we are taking photo. We need to be aware of the traffic which is coming in. If you are taking some risky selfies, don't do that. I mean, your life is always precious compared to a selfie photo with some 10 likes on Facebook. So certainly safety is the first point that I can make out from the strength. Another is, like, since we are always carrying it with us, we generally don't take care of the mobile phone or the camera so well. So kind of we put it in the pocket or in your handbag, or we keep it anywhere. So it is likely that the lens is dirty, or there might be some scratches. So first thing is you need to kind of take care of the camera part which is there in the phone. And second is, anytime you take a photo, it's better that you clean the lens before you take the photo. So that way you will get a very crisp and clear picture. And as somebody said, like you carry it everywhere, and anytime you will be able to take a photo. So you are traveling in a bus or a train, you suddenly see a beautiful building with colored lights, you just wanted to take it. So one other thing is, like, you need to make sure that you are easily opening the camera app. So probably in the lock screen itself, you can have the camera app enabled, or on the home screen when you just unlock, you can just click on the camera and bring it up. So these are some points which I could make out from the easy to carry perspective. And coming to like everyone has it, right? So the thing is like I have seen people like family and friends in some events or get-togethers. Everybody will start taking photos, and most of them would want to take the photo in the same angle. Probably if it is a birthday, everyone want to take a close-up of the cake. So 10-15 photos of the cake, I mean, it's not going to help, right? So it is, when you are multiple people there, it is better that you communicate between each other, take photos from different angles, and cover multiple people. So for all you know, like the little boy cutting the cake is younger sister nearby, very eager to eat the cake. If you take a photo of her, it might be more interesting than a close-up of the cake itself, right? So so the other point is that when you are in friends or family, try to be take multiple photos from different angles, because we have so many people taking photos. So you will kind of not miss out on any moment as such, and all people's expressions you will be able to capture. Coming back again, we should take as many photos as possible. Sometimes what happens is we have this tendency of just after clicking a single photo also, we will kind of review the photo to see whether how the photo has come. So I mean, if you already taken it, that's it. I mean, you can't really change it. So what I suggest is that you just keep clicking. You can probably review it when you are a little bit free, or after when there is nothing interesting happening, you can review and maybe delete if you don't want something. So, but the point is that you should not miss out the moment. So it is better you always take as many photos as possible instead of just reviewing it every click that you make. Then another thing is, like, since the internet is already available in your camera, so one other thing which everyone has to do is to take backup of your photos. So it will help in reducing your phone memory also, so that you get a lot of space. At the same time, since the mobile camera, it can break, or there is a risk of theft also. So you might have a privacy issue. So it is better always to back up your photos and regularly, and keep it safe. So now let's move on to the weaknesses that might be there with a mobile camera. So this is like it's having a fixed lens only, and it's very, very less manual control we have. The flash is not very effective. Low light pictures are not so good when compared to at least the DSLRs. So if you look at it, how do we actually overcome these kind of weaknesses? So the main point here is, as I mentioned in the beginning, the photography part of it, right? So the photo part is what we are trying to talk about here, where the manual control is less and all that. So what we have to do in a mobile photography is try to concentrate more on the graphy part, bring out the innovative things in your from you, and try to make things, I mean, try to capture moments. There are priceless moments, emotions of people which you can capture. And there are some composition techniques that you can use. We will see some samples like rule of thirds or leading lines. These kind of composition techniques you can use to shoot pictures. So these are some of the areas which will help you, even though there is not much of control you can do with the camera itself. There are areas where you can do where the photos will look really nice. So these are some of the techniques that you can use. Another thing is like this camera being very handy, you can really take pictures in different angles, and some weird angles, maybe probably right on the ground or from top, or these kind of angles which may be difficult to do from a bulky DSLR as such. So these are some of the things which we can do even with the limitations or weaknesses that we have with the camera. So apart from that, these are the opportunities we have. So compared to a DSLR or some other camera, if you look at it, mobile camera, we can have custom software. There are many mobile applications for Android and even Apple. So where it gives some amount of control, we can have some different things like the Snap feed application and all. We can have multiple backgrounds or different kind of having some crown or some things and all, which is not really possible with a DSLR. So we can, it's a fun camera to do that way actually. So we can even take a 360-degree photo, even though it is not really perfect. We should be able to do that. There are some dedicated macro or zoom lenses for mobile camera. You can try that. It certainly will not be comparable with a DSLR, but rather than just having a normal camera, we can have some this additional lens which can be of use. The file size also will not be really big as such. So that way, sharing also will be easier. Backing up things also will be easier. So these are some of the threats that we have. Yes, it's difficult to have zoom and macro kind of photo. So when you are taking some macro photos on your mobile camera, one thing to remember is better not to zoom with the pinch zoom. So if there is a optical zoom available in your camera, probably you can use only till that. But beyond that, when you are zooming, it is kind of a digital zoom, which will actually make the picture bad. So it is better to take the photo and then crop it so that it is kind of a macro shot. So that is another thing which we can do. Coming to the low light performance, like low light, one of the problems in low light is that if you shake a little also, we will have a problem. So what you can do is in many of the phones, you can use the volume up button as the trigger. So you can just click on that and it will take the picture. Always you hold the camera with both your hands, and the fingerprint sensor, if it is there, even the fingerprint will take the photo. And the phone manufacturers, if you see, they have made it such a way that the fingerprint for clicking a photo will work for anyone's fingerprint. So if your friend is nearby and your friend you give your phone to your friend to take a selfie, he can just use the fingerprint. I mean, even if his fingerprint is not enrolled in your camera, just by using the fingerprint, you will be able to shoot the picture. So these kind of things we can use so that we are kind of holding the camera more steadily when we are taking in low light conditions. There is one more thing which may not be many people may not be aware of. When you are clicking that on the screen, the button, if you keep it pressed for a few seconds, it will actually take a burst of photos, like 10-15 photos at a time it will take. So if there is a moving subject, your kid is just running around and you are taking some photo like that. So what will happen is, like when you do the burst mode, obviously in the 10 pictures, 2-3 of them, it will be a sharp and good picture as such. So instead of just clicking once, if you keep pressing it, it will go into a burst mode and shoot a lot of pictures. So you'll be able to get the pictures easily. So apart from that, one other good thing about shooting in mobile is that you have photo editing tools in your mobile, like Snapseed and all, which are very powerful and free. You can use to edit the photos. So editing also is kind of part of the photography, I would say. But one thing to make sure is that you always keep your editing more natural, and it should not spoil the actual picture itself. So overdoing of editing is not recommended, but simple crops or leveling of the horizon and things like that is very much required to give the aesthetic look and feel to the photo. So whatever we just discussed, in fact, I've just listed down. So if you you can have a look at the points that we just discussed. So I'll be just covering few additional points about photos for the maps, which I will be taking it in the next slide. So this is again, most of this we have already discussed. When it comes to maps, so the best option is to have your camera phone in landscape mode when you take it, because that gives a better appeal. And also if you see in maps, it will list down all the photos, right? In that, if you look at it, it will be kind of a cropped version of your actual photo. So if it is a landscape mode, it is always better that it will appear in a good way in the list. So people will be tend to click on that, so you will get more views if you are taking pictures in landscape mode and uploading. Same way, the name boards of shops and all, you need to have some space above that, so that when that cropped image which is shown on maps, the name board will be clear and it will not cut off, so that people will be more inclined to view your photo and you will get more views. Same is the case with leveling the horizon or cropping in the photo, and when you are uploading it, you have to name the photos. Again, that will also help you in getting more views. So these are some of the tips and tricks that you can do with mobile photography. These are some of the samples which I just wanted to show. We talked about different angles. So here you can see not all of them are mobile photos, but still just to know the concept. So it's almost on the ground. The camera is almost on the ground actually. This is again a low angle shot, and the butterfly shot. If you see, another thing is you need to adjust your angle such a way that the subject is having a contrast with the background. Then it will be more appealing and your subject will stand out. So you need to have when you compose the frame, you make sure that you have that kind of a background, contrasting background with your subject. So this is another, the insect shot is actually a mobile shot. So this one I have taken the photo and then cropped it so that it looks like a macro shot. So this is what I was talking about. Instead of zooming, you can take the picture and then crop it. This is another photo where it is a top angle shot of the gas burner actually. So a rule of thirds. So rule of thirds is nothing but if you divide your frame into 3 equal parts horizontally and vertically, those lines become important. If you can keep your subjects in those lines, or more importantly, the intersecting points, which are called the golden points. If you keep that, keep your subject there, it will be more appealing. This photo is taken by our LG Sophie, who is also an admin member. So here you can see when the sun is kind of in the upper right golden spot as such. Another thing is about leading lines. So leading lines is something where it will give the viewer a sense that his attention will be focused along the line to your subject actually. So this particular photo is taken by Diva Vivesh. This was published in our LG's Photo World, the WhatsApp group, which TG sir was talking about. So you can see how well the leading lines lead to the subject in the middle. It's a very nice photo, Divya Vikash. I'm not sure whether you have joined, but it's a very nice photo. This is another photo where you get that sense of leading lines. If there are symmetry, then you try to use that symmetry. For example, this Red Fort photo of the church and this gate photo by Anil Singhji. It has this kind of symmetry. So anything which is having the symmetry will have a good appeal in photos. Another technique is to fill the frame. So this particular yummy brownie is shot by our Rosie man and shared in the WhatsApp group. This is again, it's covering the entire frame. There's a flower also covering the entire frame. So these are some of the techniques. Actually, the framing techniques and the composition itself is a separate topic altogether. Probably we will have that another day. We'll cover those aspects. So now we are come to the end of the first session. We'll start with the second one. So before that, I would like to know if there are any questions or anything you want to share. So since this is a platform for sharing and learning, so if you feel that there are some things I have missed out, you want to share that everyone will be able to utilize, you can share that points also. Open to everyone now. Shreya, you can moderate.
Yes, sir. Actually, Doc Dell had one question. Doc, go ahead and ask the question. It's not silly. You can ask the question.
Yeah, thank you. So my questions are using the camera, a mobile phone camera. How about the speed? For example, catching the butterfly, which is needing the high speed, right? Is there any specific, technique or the very standard spec when you are need to take a picture like butterfly?
Yeah, thank you, madam. So actually, if you look at that photo, that is again a mobile photo only. It is taken in the auto mode. So the one thing to note about having a blurry background, what you need to do is two things. One is try to be as close as possible to the subject, and then the background should be as farther away from the subject as possible. So I have bent down such a way that the background is little far from the butterfly, so that it is showing as a little more blurry background when compared to the butterfly itself. And the butterfly is very crisp focus as such.
I think Rosie ma'am has a question.
Rosie madam had a question. Rosie ma'am.
Yes. Can I just break for a second?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I just wanted to inform all that, Jason, you did a wonderful job because, in the limited time of say roughly half an hour, you covered a gigantic portion of photography. So yes, I do agree with most of the points, and I do want to request you that we will definitely try to have separate sessions on what you felt. You can go through this video once again later, and then kindly give us feedback in our WhatsApp group or in any other platform, so that those areas we can expand. And one of us can definitely give the details in details. For example, what he told about composing itself is a big thing, but then if you take only lead line or role of the third, all these are huge big khajanas of knowledge. So in case if any of you are inclined towards photography or what can be the best settings, even between the mobile camera as well as SLR or mirrorless, we can also guide you to take, say, for example, moon photography, or just, as Doc asked us, how about butterfly or a particular scenario? We can simulate certain things and we can explain it. Thanks a lot, Jason. It was a wonderful session. I'm sure you covered most of the important things, but more important is people kindly don't think that he has presented the whole thing in toto. It was only, just touching the most of the points. He wanted to cover the total things. You did, and he did a wonderful job. And I appreciate Jason. Wonderful job. Thank you. Over back to Shreya.
Thank you, sir. So,
Yes.
Rosie, madam.
It was indeed a better, best presentation in a brief of the whole mobile photography. I guess everyone have an idea about what are the main basic points which we have to keep in mind, even for maps. I guess Rosie ma'am had a question. Ma'am, do you like to ask Jason, sir?
Yeah,
please.
Thank you. And thank you, Jason. It was awesome. My question is, when we crop in small size, from cell now, sometimes it doesn't come proper cropping. How to crop and make a frame? You can cover in next session, no problem. Teach that also from cell, how to crop and make a smaller size. Because most of the time when we upload any form from cell now, the photo size doesn't come proper. My son was uploading his photo for a bank. He clicked his photos. They are telling the size is big. We tried to crop, but that from cell it comes very difficult. So whenever you feel, even photos when I post, it comes that problem. So teach next time, no problem. Due to time shortage, how to crop from cell and upload it, and what should be the exact size, smaller size. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Sure, madam. Like we are planning to have a session on photo editing as well. Mostly we will cover using Snapseed or some kind of free apps. So that way it will be useful for everyone. So we have that also in plan. So the next week session, some of them, your question will be answered in next week session. But we will certainly try to have a dedicated session on photo editing itself. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so I think
I
we'll.
guess, yeah, sir. We solved all the questions, and we would like to go to the next session.
Yeah, I mean, if time is there after the session also, we can take questions, and
Yes.
we can also post in chat so that we can consolidate and have it. If not in this session, we will try to answer it in the coming sessions or through WhatsApp, wherever is possible. Okay, so let us.
We have 1 minute, sir. I would like to make this more interactive and informal. I guess everyone is just sitting in front of their mobiles and wondering to gain so much of knowledge. So everyone, after this section, we have 2 minutes of break. If you want to please unmute and tell us how you felt about it, please do it. And we've completed the first session. Now we're going to the second one. Know your camera, the mode dial for DSLRs. Hope you enjoy it. Continue, sir.
Thank you, Shreya. So, so when you actually buy a DSLR or a prosumer type camera, so the first thing to do is to understand the camera. And one of the things which everyone need to know about is the mode dial, because that is the starting point for any new camera to start with. So we are going to cover the mode dial part of it. So again, DSLR photography is a very vast area. So we are just trying to stick to the mode dial aspect and some very basics of photography. We will have certain more detailed sessions later on. So
Jason,
yeah.
kindly give me 1 second. And please kindly, what he is going to talk, give us 1 second to explain it. Don't leave the platform because I don't have a DSLR or a mirrorless, or kindly don't leave the meeting for that purpose, because we are talking about photography again, but then defining the possible modes in a pro camera. So kindly don't think that this is only suitable or knowledge sharing only for DSLR or mirrorless. Today, no more DSLR, so we call it mirrorless cameras. So this is equally, the very first photo what Jason sir is showing is equally applicable for across all photography, cinematography or everything. So please stay back, listen to us carefully. You are going to get a lot from this. Just one triangle. Over to Jason.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So as TG sir mentioned, so I was talking about the introduction to photography, right? So that this exposure triangle is about that. So before we actually start about the mode dial, if you understand this, then the mode dial becomes very easy actually. So the photo part of photography, right? So controlling light. So the controlling light in any camera for that matter, even your mobile camera, what happens is there are 3 different controls through which you can have the light coming inside. We can control the light. So one is the aperture, which is on this side. Aperture is similar to your iris pupa in your eyes, which opens up to let more light or closes when you go into the sun. So similar to that, in the lens there is a opening in the lens which will allow the light to go inside, and you can control how much you want to open or close that aperture. So that is the aperture part of it. This is generally, it is there in the lens. So in a DSLR lens, we will be able to separate it out. So the lens will have this facility of changing it. There are some manual lenses where you just the dial will be there. You rotate it so that the aperture can be adjusted, or in the kit lens and some of the lens that comes with your camera, the camera can speak to your lens and adjust the aperture accordingly. So second is the shutter speed. This is nothing but there is a shutter which is there in your camera, which is always closed. So when you actually take a photo, that shutter will open to let the light inside, and then it will close back again. So the shutter speed is to find out how fast the shutter has to open and close. Based on that, the light will be allowed inside. So the longer it is open, more light will pass through. The faster it opens and closes, then the picture or the light coming inside will be very less. So if you see the numbers here, like the aperture numbers, 1.4 to 2.8, these are numbers to show or to tell anybody that how much the aperture is open, and these numbers shows for how much second the shutter was open. So 1 by 30 means 1/30th of the second the shutter was open and closed. So how much time it was open is what is measured here. The other area is called the ISO, or it is the sensitivity of the sensor in your camera. So you can actually boost the sensitivity of your sensor to light. So ISO 100 is less sensitive to light. ISO, if when it goes up, it becomes more sensitive. So here you can see it is written as less noise and more noise. Basically, if the sensor is very sensitive, what happens is even a small spark also will be there. So the dust particles in the atmosphere, even that we will be seeing, and there will be noise in the picture as such. So the controlling of light means actually controlling all three of them in a perfect way so that we get the correct exposure for our photo. And why is this called a triangle? Because when somebody is saying what is the setting of the camera where you took this image, what they are actually trying to ask is a dot within this triangle. So basically, what was the aperture opening, and what was the shutter speed, and what was the ISO. So these three are the ones which will tell how the photo was taken. So when somebody is asking for what is the setting in your DSLR camera for this photo, this is what they are actually meaning. So one thing is like the light which is coming in. So this is about the science which we are talking about. But again, the photography aspect, the art aspect also comes into picture. So it doesn't mean that that particular setting will be always good to take a particular type of photo. It still depends on your own preference. So every lighting condition and every scene has its own way of light. So you need to have a different settings. You can try to adjust either aperture or shutter speed or ISO to get the perfect exposure. So again, this is again a very detailed topic. So I have just tried to touch upon such a way that this is the basics of the aperture, shutter speed and ISO. So we will move on to the actual mode dial. So,
Jason,
yes.
1 second, Jason. So can you just show the previous slide, triangle? For everybody's information, in these three characters which Jason has told, it's controlling the system is the aperture, the first one. This is the only one thing missing in mobile camera, most of the mobile cameras. But whereas there can be 1 or 2 apertures given by the manufacturer, then further settings are not possible. Whereas the shutter speed in most of the mobile cameras, it is possible to adjust, along with the sensitivity, which is also he mentioned as ISO, is possible in most of the cameras. That means you are missing only one element in this. Mobile photography is similar to this, but there is one change which you have to notice. In mobile photography, you are keeping the mobile sensor always on, whereas in camera photography, we are not keeping the sensor always on. We switch on the sensor only for the defined time period, whereas in mobile photography, the sensor is always on, and you are just allowing the saving time. That is the basic difference between the camera and the mobile photography. Just for your information, we will definitely be giving you more details on this on a special, exclusive session. But for you, this triangle is most important. Listen to me carefully. You can find out this aperture. In most of the cases, it will be between 1.6 or the maximum, maximum aperture. So, and 2.2 is the nominal or most popular aperture in mobile camera. And mobile camera, when you buy, lower the aperture, the cost will be higher. Again, I'm telling you, the lower the number or higher the opening of the aperture, the mobile cost will be higher. I think it is a very good one you explained, Jason. Over to Jason.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So moving on, so this is a typical mode dial that you might see in your camera. So I've just given both for Canon and Nikon, but it will be very much similar if you look at it in others also. And what we are going to concentrate are the red ones over here. So it is actually called PASM, which is Program auto, shutter priority, aperture priority, and the manual. So these are the 4 different settings which we will be covering in this particular session. So we'll move on. When you actually when you are a beginner, you don't know much about photography, or you don't know much about your camera. So the best place to start is the auto mode. But the auto mode comes with its own disadvantages, in the sense the auto mode is kind of giving the entire control to the camera, and the camera will decide everything, all those aperture or shutter speed, ISO, all that what we just discussed. Everything is controlled by the camera. So literally you are just you have given everything to the camera, and you are just fingers crossed how the camera operates. Based on that, you will get a picture. So that is one of the disadvantages you have in the automatic mode. But that is the very basic one which everyone has to start with. So to understand about the camera and the photography as such. So you can start with the auto, but slowly when I explain, you will understand. You can move to different other modes which are there, and the sooner you come out of auto, it will make more sense and more worth the money of the camera that you are having. Because if you are just in the mercy of the camera, there is no point in having a bulky and expensive camera where you give all the control to the camera. So the basic aspect of having owning a DSLR is to have the control on your side, and the camera is just going to perform what you are telling it to do. So the auto mode, only control you have is there is a button like this plus minus or AV like this, which is called the exposure compensation, where you can actually, after you take a photo in auto mode, if you feel that the picture is dark, you can increase this so that the entire picture will become brighter. You cannot actually select a particular section of the picture, but the entire frame will become brighter, or you can make it darker. So this there will be indicator when you change this. It will go to the negative side if it becomes if you want to make it darker, you can turn in such a way that it will go to the positive side if you want the picture to become brighter. So exposure compensation is the only control that you have on the camera when you are operating in auto mode. So that is why it is better you come out of auto mode, and you will be able to take pictures like these. It will, very blurry background kind of an image, or a zoomed in image of the moon with a dark night sky. These kind of photos you will be able to take if you come out of the auto mode. So the first step after you come out of the auto mode is the programmed auto mode. So in programmed auto mode, one aspect that you gain control is the ISO. So now you can have ISO in your control. If you want a darker image, you can reduce the ISO. If you want a brighter image, you can increase the ISO. Still, the exposure compensation also will work, but in the other 3 areas on the exposure triangle which we discussed, we will have control over ISO. But the shutter speed and the aperture, it will still be controlled by your camera, but it will actually go in steps. So there is, in the P mode, you can use your dial to change in different steps. So either the aperture will open wider, accordingly the camera will adjust your shutter speed so that it will let less light, because the aperture has now opened up more. So or your shutter speed, and you reduce it, the aperture will become smaller, so that the light is again balanced. So it will go in steps. So you will still don't have control over aperture and shutter speed, but you can actually, what you can do is based on what you are trying to shoot. The flowers which we saw in the previous example with the blurry background. So if you remember, I was talking about a wider aperture for such kind of photos. So you can turn the knob so that the camera selects a bigger aperture, and the camera will automatically select the corresponding balanced shutter speed also. So if it's a moving subject, then you can go on the other side where the shutter speed is faster, so that you can freeze the frame. So the programmed auto is the first step after coming out of the auto mode. In some of the recent cameras, they even have programmed mode as P1, P2, P3. You can program it and keep that setting kind of thing, where you know that in your home, in the indoor environment, if you are taking a picture, you can just move to say P1 or P2, like that. You can set that exposure, and it will be easier for you to just start taking photos. So this is about the program auto mode. So the next mode,
Just one more point there. In P mode, usually camera will allow the flash, and like in auto mode, they may not allow flash at all. We want to forcefully give the flash. In P mode, most of the cameras allow. Okay, over.
Okay, sir. So coming to the aperture priority. So here what we are going to do is, the focus is all about aperture. So now I can set my aperture, how wide it should be or how close it should be, and the camera will choose the shutter priority automatically. But every single point of the aperture is under my control. Unlike the programmed auto, where it will change in steps, here you can minutely change in whatever aperture detail you want, and based on the aperture, it will automatically, the camera will select the shutter speed. So here are some of the scenarios when you can actually use a wider aperture and a smaller aperture. So when we need more light to come in, obviously the opening has to be bigger. So in dark conditions, night photos, we can either select apertures in the range of 5.6 to 2.8 to like that, till how much ever your camera allows, your lens allows. As TG sir said, the wider the aperture opening, the costlier and premium the lens will be actually. So the kit lens may not allow you to go below say 2.0 as such. So if there are some dedicated lenses which can go up to 1.2 also. So the main aspect is, when the aperture is wide, you get to shoot in dark or very low light conditions. Second aspect to look at it is the depth of field. Depth of field, what it means is how much of the picture has to be in focus in your frame. So the shallow depth of field, which is the wide opening, means there will be a very thin layer in your photo will be in focus. All others in front and in the back will not be in focus. So again, the question about the butterfly, the same thing. Like, I mean, if the aperture is wide open and when you take the shot, the background will be blurry and the picture of the subject will be sharp. When you actually close the aperture to smaller thing, then the entire frame will be in focus. So when you are taking a landscape photo where you want everything to be in focus, this is where you have to do. So basically the aperture will be small. So we just talked about this blurry background and not so blurry background also. So this is an example of that. So in both are taken that in the same time with two different apertures. In this, if you see, the aperture is wide open, 1.2, there it is only this red color car is in focus. In the front as well as in the back, it is all blurry. In this one, it is taken in f11 where all of them are in focus. This is another example where it's a landscape where from the one end to other end, everything is in focus, which is using a small aperture opening. This is another wide aperture shot where the background is fully blurry and the subject is sharp. Now comes the shutter speed. So in the shutter speed, you adjust the shutter speed and the aperture will be already controlled by the camera. So in this one, what you do is, if you want to freeze the action, then we can use fast shutter speed. So 1,000th of the second or 1/250th of the second, all these will freeze fast moving objects as such. So it will these type of shutter speeds are used in sports or bird photography, birds in flight. You can take using these kind of shutter speeds. And around this, it is good for handheld, but below 1/160th of a second, if you go, then any small shake in your hand will affect the camera. So you need a tripod if you go beyond 1/30th of a second, 1 second, 2 second kind of shots. So the shutter speed we can control such a way that the blur effect is there in the subject. Here, when we say blur, we are not talking about the background, but the subject as such. So here are some examples for that. So this waterfall where we have the screamy flow of the water is taken with a long exposure shot, longer exposure time. So the shutter is open for a longer time, so you get a shot like this. This is taken with a very fast shutter speed. So you can see as if the bike is standing there, but it is moving in high speed. For fireworks like this, we use longer shutter speed, or to do a light painting like this, you can keep it open for a very long period, like almost 10 seconds. You can keep it open and draw things like this, and it will show up. So coming to the manual mode now. So in manual mode, what we saw in shutter priority and aperture priority, both is under your control. So the camera doesn't do anything. You have full control of the camera. You get to adjust the shutter speed. You get to adjust the aperture as well. So just to assist, what happens is, this exposure which we saw in the exposure compensation, that suddenly now changes as a light meter. So what happens is, when you when you show the camera and in the frame and the center or wherever it is focusing, that area, it will show how much exposure it is. So if this needle is going to the left side or in the minus side, it means that your exposure is lesser. So either you need to reduce your shutter speed or you have to increase your aperture. If it goes on the other side, your picture, your subject is more bright, So you need to adjust your aperture and shutter speed accordingly. So this just helps you to understand with the current setting that you have whether the picture is going to come dark or bright. So you may want to still have a darker picture, so you can still go ahead and just shoot it. So this is just an indicator for you, but still you are the boss. You take the decision what shutter speed and what aperture you want, and you can go ahead with the shot. So this is about the manual mode. So this is where you need to experiment a lot. At the first time, certainly it may not be the right exposure you will get, but when you try multiple shots, you will gradually become a good photographer, and you will understand what is the right shutter speed and right aperture for a particular scenario. And the light meter will certainly help, but that is not the purpose as such. So the purpose is to have the full control with you, so that way you will be able to shoot shots like this, where you have want to make the things more darker or more lighter. You will be able to do with the manual mode. So apart from all these modes, there are some scene modes also in your camera. So these also are helpful when you are a beginner. So from auto mode, what happens is, in the auto mode, your camera, you are just depending on the camera to do everything, and the camera will try to judge what is the subject you are trying to capture. But so, and it will adjust accordingly. But when you know that this is what I'm going to take, I'm going to take a photo, a portrait photo, or I'm going to take a landscape. So it is better to choose that scene in the mode, so that the camera also knows that, oh, this person is going to take the photo of a landscape. So it will try to adjust accordingly. So when you compare auto and the scene is a better way of capturing images when you know what you are going to shoot. So if you are coming out of auto mode, or you are still a beginner, you can, and you know what you are shooting, you can try the scene modes which are in your camera. So that's the end of the DSLR part of it. So again, we will open up to see if there are any questions before we can move to the 360 degree camera introduction.
Yes, sir, there's a question. I guess Doc is asking, what is the difference between the manual mode and the auto mode?
Okay, so in the auto mode, if you are, as I mentioned, in auto mode, the entire control is with the camera. You don't have any control at all. You just point and shoot. So your camera becomes as good as a, say, mobile camera, where you just frame it and shoot it. Whereas in manual mode, you have the control of your aperture and shutter speed. So you know what you are shooting. You can do the adjustment according to what you are trying to shoot, and you know the lighting conditions. You have the flexibility to adjust both these settings, so that in that particular lighting condition you get a good picture. So you have full control when it comes to manual mode. In auto mode, you just rely on the camera to do the shot for you. Any other questions?
What is the difference of the result between the manual and then the auto mode?
Yeah, so that's what just now, when as I explained, in the auto mode.
No, sir, quality of the photo.
Okay, quality. Sorry. So quality of the photo, if you look at it, I mean, when you say quality, it is just it is to do with the camera actually. So the camera will do its job. So the thing is, when it comes to DSLR, the main aspect is you might feel that the camera is bad or it does not shoot well, but why we go to DSLR is mainly you have the control to do it. So the quality of the picture again depends on how you are controlling your camera. So in the auto mode, obviously you will get a reasonable quality, but if you want to have some certain areas dark, certain areas more brighter, or you want a chill out kind of image where your background is brighter and only the subject is fully dark, these kind of scenarios you have to control in the manual mode, because the auto mode will not give you that kind of a flexibility. So the quality perspective, maybe both of them, both the settings will give you the similar kind of quality, but the adjustment matters to get a very nice picture as such.
Sorry to interrupt, Jason sir.
Yeah.
We'll be having a dedicated session for that, and that's what we are taking the opinion. Those who will be interested will have a full day session for that.
Yeah.
However, we are running behind the schedule, so we'll try to
we have to.
Okay. Thank you. Over.
Yes. Okay. So coming back now, we'll quickly see about the 360-degree camera. So what are 360 cameras? So there are a lot of different cameras that are available in the market, and let's see what a 360-degree camera is. So this is an example of a 360-degree camera. So in this you can see it has two lenses, one lens on each side. You can actually see my screen. So this is a 360-degree camera where there are two lenses on both sides, and when you click a photo, both the lenses are going to click that photo. So what will happen is, on both the sides, it's going to cover almost just above 180 degrees from top to bottom and on all sides. So both these will be captured in a single click. So both cameras will shoot at the same time at a single click. So when you download the picture, it will be something like this. This is called a dual fisheye image, where both the things are coming together. Both the things are coming together, and you will see that my image is there in both these pictures. So if you look at it, based on that, there is the next step is something called stitching. So these two images will be stitched together like this as a equal rectangular image. So this is the same image which is stitched together like this, and we will get this as a 360-degree photo. So this is how the 360-degree camera works. So it has two lenses. You don't have to turn or do anything. Which with one click, it takes two photos and both the lenses, and then you combine it together, stitch it together like this, and then this, when you look at it in 360 mode, you will see that it has covered from top to bottom and across. For entire 360-degree will be covered in this photo. So what can a 360-degree camera do? It can do a 360-degree photo. You can do something called a little planet or a tiny planet. We can do a 360-degree video itself. There are virtual tours we can do either in maps or standalone virtual tours. 360-degree video also we can do. It is VR ready. You can just have a headset and you will be able to see it. And there is another thing which is possible, which is reframing or free capture, which is you take a 360-degree video, and from that entire video you can just select a selected frame, and that frame will be coming as a normal video. So for this we will see a small example of these. And because of that, the 360-degree camera can also be used as a action camera. So this is a tiny planet. Again, this is created from the 360-degree photo. These are some of the sample videos. These videos are available in the shared folder, which will be the album link, which will be there in the the chat window. So you can see these videos there. So this is the end of the session with the 360-degree camera also. So any questions, or after this we can move on to the puzzle part.
It was indeed a great session, sir. Literally enjoyed the little planets. Even the slide, thank you after thank you, is written so beautifully. Thank you for such a beautiful session. And I guess Pramod sir is asking, is there any option to hide cameraman in 360 camera?
Pramod, actually, since the camera is shooting everything, it is very difficult to hide anything. But there is a small blind spot right under the camera. So if you are holding a selfie stick, that selfie stick will be invisible. But in these kind of shots, what we do is we can erase. In fact, I was actually standing here right in front of that thank you bird, and I have taken the picture, but I have removed myself from the photo. So there are some techniques to do that. So using that, we can remove or have a logo or a watermark in that area as such.
Yes, Jason, I would like to show you the actual 360 camera. This is Insta 1. I hope you people can see lens 1 and lens 2. I hope you can see it. This is in 360 camera, an operating camera with the two lenses. What Mr. Jason has explained, that is, it is in the focus. You can see. I'll try to reflect it. This is fisheye lens, which is at 190 degrees covering lens, and another one on the opposite side. So I will rotate it for your purpose. And this camera will have the selfie stick attached down, which will help you to hold it vertically up, as explained by our Mahesh Salvi, that we create the minimum disturbance in the photography, and then we can erase it using Snapchat or any similar apps. Over.
Yes, sir. Thank you for showing us the actual Instax camera. I guess now comes the most interesting session. Nyai, who's that cute little kid? Hi. Let's go to the quiz part. We have the photographic quiz, and that's the puzzle game. Hi. So here we have. Yes,
Priya,
sir.
can you just 1 second before the puzzle? Can you just announce our WGS next week and the IVM, please?
I guess so. We are running very late on our schedule. It's already 7:15. We shall complete the puzzle stuff and then we can announce it later on.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Fine. Yeah.
Okay, so here comes the puzzle game. Everyone get ready to your text box. We will show you the photos. You have 10 seconds to guess the name, and you will have to be as fast as you can. The fastest finger first, okay? So whoever answers the first and whoever gives more correct answer will win a surprise from us. So I guess we'll start. Everyone ready? The first one will show about our last week's winner. That is Vikram Bishnoi. Congratulations. Woohoo! So
Congratulations.
All the best. All the best.
So this is what the surprise looks like. I guess all get ready, and this is the first one. Okay, Jason, sir, let's go. Okay, so the time has started. No one guessed it? Shall I give you a hint? No. What is the first thing called as? The basic thing in our stationery. What is called as? What is it? Yeah. Ruler. SK. Rule. Good. You're getting there. Come on. And what is that wheel? How much part does it have?
Answer has been already shown on the screen. It's visible. Answer is visible on the screen, Shreya.
Sorry. Oh god. Okay. The answer got out. Okay. Maybe this was a difficult one. Let's go on to the next one. This is my favorite one. Please guess. Oh, oh, the answers are coming.
Vikram got it first.
No, Falguni got
Falguni
it
got
first.
it first. Yeah, Falguni.
Yeah. So that's correct.
So
The
we got
shortest
someone who
speech.
can beat Vikram.
Yes, Ji. Yes, Ji. Correct. Correct.
Whoa. Okay, okay. Again, Falguni won. That's correct. Woohoo!
Little Planet.
Oh, Manish sir got it right, I guess. Yeah. So this time we have a winner, Manish S. Correct. That's a Little Planet. The one we have after the 360 camera photo. Congrats. And it's not a pig. Come on. Okay, Isha. Getting there, getting there. Think. Good one. Good one. Ah, time is up. That's a blurry background. Background which we see with TG sir and Jason sir. So exciting virtual backgrounds. That's a blurry background. Okay, the next one. Think, think. No, you're not getting there. Think. No. Mahesh, you should guess it correct. Oh, we have a winner. Aditya
Aditya.
Patil guessed it correct. Yeah. Exposure triangle.
Again, Aditya has got it.
Wow. Now it's a fair competition between Falguni and Aditya.
Yeah.
2
Yeah,
points. Come on.
tied at 2.
Tie.
And yeah, you should not give up. You can still beat the other guys.
Come on. Okay. People are
Vikram,
getting there.
Vikram.
Another complete.
Vikram is back.
Who answered it correct, sir?
Vikram.
Oh, Vikram. So that's a fish eye, dual fish eye image.
It is actually the dual fisheye.
Right, but
Yeah,
Vikram was close maybe.
But they can considered he is from the core group. So the chances should be given to somebody else.
Yeah, Vikram is now in our group. Now he's not there as a participant. Yeah, nice.
Chanarth.
Wow.
Yeah, Chanarth. Wow.
And you got it. Woo! And you made the greatest entry with the correct answer. Wow. That was really very great. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
So
I will
thank you,
leave
everyone.
to Tushar sir
So
now. Yeah.
and before the announcement, Anil sir, if you are there, or Ajit sir, you can announce about.
Yes, I know the curiosity and the interest level which is going up towards quiz, but we are already running behind the schedule. So I'm sorry, friends, we have to wind up the show over here. So keep your desperation and interest level up. So there are so many more to come. Okay, and we are going to have announcement, very important announcement from the topic. Over to everybody.
I guess sir, we should stop presentation so that we could see everyone and have a group photo. So everybody please turn your cameras on so that we can have a good photo for the recap.
How many of you are having 360 camera? Can you show?
फोटो ले लिया अभी और किसी को स्क्रीनशॉट लेना है तो ले लीजिए. We will wrap up our session because it's already 7:30. I hope you all enjoyed our session. I want to
smile,
thank
please.
each and everyone.
Smile, please, everyone.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining, even though it's a bit late. I hope everyone will join us next week also. We also have the IVM 4 coming up. We look forward for your participation in IVM 4 as well. Thanks for joining today, and we'll meet you soon in next week's session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
For joining.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Devi, we are waiting for announcement.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye, Nyai.
Thank you, Shreya. Thank you, Tushar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rosie ji.
26th July. 26th July, let's all be IBM 4.
26 July, IBM 4 with Devi ma'am and Anil Singh.
Don't forget, 26 July.
Devi, we need food in your meetup. We
Oh,
need
yes,
food in
Krishna.
your meetup.
Yes.
It should be fun and food together.
With Aslam Ahmad. Aslam Mohammed chatting in conversation with Devi and Anil. 26 July. Book your seats immediately. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye. Have a good night. Stay safe.